aboard! Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woodsman Whack-Off, the series that puts two woodsmen face to face to see which competitor can whack off their log the fastest. Alright, so let's get into it here. The two competitors for today are, again, returning from yesterday's battle, the Poulan Pro 335. The Poulan Pro 335 was, I believe, originally designed around 1986 time frame, but maybe even earlier than that, like 1985 or 84, because they first originally started off as 50cc saws, the 305, and the regular Poulan 3000, and there was a bunch of them in there. So the smaller cc saws came a few years earlier than this one, which is the actual 54 cc's. But regardless of that, specs on it are showing that it's about 12 pounds. I personally think that's probably a little bit heavy. They're measuring it maybe with some fuel in there. I don't know. Could be wrong on that. Doesn't matter. Who gives a crap? The bore is 46.5 and the stroke is 32 millimeter. And that gives us a whopping 54 cc's, which is honestly a whopping 54 cc's. That is the highest displacement, I believe, of any 50cc chassis saw. Wait a minute. Nope. You've got the Shindaiowa. The Shindaiowa stuff would pump out a lot more displacement in their really small saws, I think. But anyways, the Shindaiowa is not here, so we're going to go with this right here. 54 cc's is a large displacement for a 50cc class chassis. Its competitor is the Jonsered 2152. The 2152 is the red-headed brother of the Husqvarna 353. They all share the same chassis with the, I believe there's the Husqvarna 345. I think there was a 345. I know there's a 350. There's I want to say 351. And of course you have the 346 original edition as well as the 346 new edition, the XP saws. Those were hot little runners. So anyways, they all share the same platform. In the Jonsered, you could get, I know you could get 21, I think you get 2145. Now the really small ones with these have plastic cases. So, sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to everything, guys. But there's a 345, 2145, I should say, 2149, 2150, 2152, and 2153. Anyways, that was a whole lot of stupid knowledge for no good reason. They weigh in right at, I'm showing about 11 pounds for the Jonsered 2152. And we actually have horsepower numbers, basically 2.4 kilowatts, which transfers over to just under 3.3 horsepower, and you can find 3.3 horsepower listed as a spec for the Husqvarna 353, which is essentially this Jonsered 2152. So, this all started out right at 3.3 horsepower, and the Poulan here probably started out somewhere closer to 3 horsepower. Not for sure on that. But both of them now have been ported by me, and they produce, I would guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 horsepower. Maybe a tick more than that, maybe a tick less, whatever. But anyways, without further ado, let's get it on. All right, here we are. Both saws digging into that pine and cutting it up with no problem. Both saws are running a 24-inch 3/8 full chisel, full comp chain. Whoa, look at that. The Poulan just rips right through and really beats the Jonsered. Big shocker for, I think, every one of us watching this. All right, so now here we are with the bigger wood. The bar will barely fit across this large chunk of red oak. And again, that Poulan is really holding in there, right neck and neck with the Jonsered 2152. This is really surprising. Both saws are running really well and cutting really well. But it looks like at this point now the Jonsered has started to actually overcome and take the lead. Yes, it definitely has. It seems as though the Poulan is actually slowing down. Boom. The Jonsered takes the win with about 4 seconds. About 4 seconds faster. So, I guess you could say, well, what's going on here? Listen to this.
Took it a while to settle down there, didn't it?
Yes, it did, you goofball. So, what just happened there, and why did I leave that in so that you guys could actually see it? So, who wins in this? All right, well, I'll tell you who wins. All right, I mean, I'm making the videos. I get to make the decision, don't I? So what we saw in the very first cut, the Poulan really beat the Jonsered. All right, nice victory there. I think it was a couple seconds faster, maybe even like 3 seconds faster. I think it's 2 though, but couple seconds faster in that smaller cut. And wow, right? Okay, but then we went over to the big wood. And about halfway through, that Poulan started slowing down. It started losing power. What happened? Why did this happen? Well, 2 things. First off, I will tell you that if you watch the full video of me running this Poulan, which I have it's on the channel, just look for the Poulan Pro 335, and you'll see it with 24-inch bar, blah, blah, blah. And you'll see the video of me making these two cuts and me talking about that saw. And what you'll notice right off the bat is the very first cut that I make, as I'm walking over to the larger log, I say, yeah, this ain't as fast as the 4910. I can tell already, or it's not as strong, I should say. I had to baby it in the cut a lot more than I had to the 4910. That's first thing up right there. I definitely will tell you I had to baby that saw more. And that means that it doesn't have the torque that the Echo 4910 or this Jonsered 2152 has. Okay, so there's that. Number 2. I think I cut too much out of the squish band. I think that there's not enough aluminum at the top of that cylinder. I mean, it's fine and everything, and it'll be fine if I run that saw with an 18 or 20-inch bar and do whatever I want. But in a test like this, that big piece of oak, that is more than this saw, honestly, should be forced to do. And not only does it have the 24-inch bar, it has a full comp 3/8 full chisel chain. So I'm asking a lot of it. And so what it's doing, it's overheating. So I had hinted towards this with Dub, because Dub was like, hey, yeah, this all looks good. And I was like, I think I built it a little bit too hot. I don't like that. So now it could be that I just have it running slightly too lean. If I give it a little bit more fuel, I won't have that issue. But that chain not slowing down tells me that cylinder got really hot in that big oak cut. It got really hot. And whenever that happens, all of the mixture that's coming in, Louis, what do you want? What do you want? Go away. It's like a needy woman. I ain't got time for that. Anyways, in that big long cut, it overheated slightly. Just, it got hot. And whenever they get hot like that, the mixture that's coming in, all of that air is expanding and it's getting really hot, and you don't have enough fuel. So your air to fuel mixture ratio is too lean, and that is causing it to rev too high, which is why that chain wouldn't stop spinning. See what I'm saying here? You see it? Now, if I did this too much, I would blow up that 335. Heck, I may have already done it. I just don't know. That's the last time I ran it, but I don't think so. I think it's fine. It didn't get that hot, and it really didn't get that hot. It just got hot enough to cause it to have an idle issue. So the next one of these I build, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So there you go. That's, I mean, I don't know how else to put that, I guess. But like, I think I don't want to do it because, see, all right, I got a lot of stuff going on in my head right now. I got to get it to you. You don't know what's in my head. I could very easily put a base gasket on that, and it would go from 20,000 squish to 45,000 squish, probably somewhere in that neighborhood, and that would fix my overheating issue. Done. We're fixed. Take away a lot of that compression. However, I don't want to do that because my exhaust is where I actually want it for this saw. That's why I had to take so much out of the combustion chamber, because I wanted to get that exhaust lower so that I would have torque with this saw. But I took out so much, and it's got so much compression now because the little combustion chamber is small. And now it's got a great big wide squish band. I think the proper way to fix this right now, as is go in there and cut the squish again. So you would have a stepped squish band. So you would have your outside squish band all the way to the cylinder walls, and then you would come in from that slightly and cut another squish band deeper so that you will relieve some of that compression. I think that would probably be the way to fix this saw. Or, I mean, you could dish that piston. If you took some off of the top of the piston, completely off the top, well, you'd be screwing yourself, because then you would be essentially raising the exhaust roof, which would lose torque. So probably the right way to do it would be a stepped combustion chamber. It probably would, if you lose a little bit of the compression, which would in turn lose a little bit of the heat, and you'd be fine. But as it is, in reality, I'm just going to not run it with anything bigger than a 20-inch bar, a 325 chain, and it'll be fine. You see what I'm saying? However, this is a whack-off, and we have got to talk about the winner. And the winner clearly is, in my opinion, the 2152. The reason for that is, in the smaller wood, the Poulan could hold its RPM, but we got to that bigger wood, it couldn't do it anymore. It couldn't do it. And if I wanted that Jonsered to actually pull some more RPM, well, that would be just as easy as giving it a little bit more timing advance, and it would match that Poulan's RPM, no problem. But I don't want that. That Jonsered is running perfect, and I will take that any day of the week, even if it didn't beat or tied with the Poulan in that cut. The Poulan, I did have to baby it more through the cut, and at the end it overheated. So no. No, I in the comments section of one of the videos, I was just talking slightly, just a little bit with Pat, about how, he's like, you've come a long way, you're doing good. And thanks, man, but I couldn't do it without, Pat, Charlie, Aaron, John Bob, Joe, Doug even, Gary, Tim, God, there's so many. A lot of people that I've actually talked with about porting, Richard, that have really helped me out. I did not learn this stuff on my own. I took everybody else's knowledge and absorbed it as best I could and tried to come up with stuff of my own. And that's kind of, it's working. I'm happy about it. But with the races, I'm going to go to the races and I'm going to compete, and I'm going to really enjoy it. I'm going to love that. It's going to be good times. I got a little side bet going on with Dub with our 2165. And if he beats me, then he beats me. There's not going to be any excuses made on my part, and I'm certain not on Dub's part either if I beat him. It's just, we can do this, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with it, and that's it. I am falling into a rhythm with the way that I like to build these saws, and I like it. And if somebody else has a saw that is faster, okay. If somebody else has a saw that is torquier, okay. The only thing that I would get sort of competitive over is if someone had a saw that actually ran better, was more well-mannered, and still produced the same power. Then I would be questioning, well, how'd you get it to act like that, But, I mean, either way, I'm always going to be curious and want to know things. But I prefer just a generally good running saw. That really is strong. Most, from what I have come to see and realize, is that most really well ported chainsaws, they punch 10 cc's above their weight class. Roughly, very roughly. So you got a 60 cc that's well ported, it's going to run like a stock 70 cc saw. 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, 100. So, and if I can get results that are in that ballpark, I'm fine with it. Now, maybe someday I'll be building saws like my Husqvarna 365 Special. I call it the Extra Special. the one that was built by Brian Kosky, I think. Kofsky. He's passed away now. He's no longer with us. But anyways, I have that saw, and it's 65 cc's, and it runs. It runs like a stock 100 cc saw. Gas. It's gas. It's not. It's not nitromethane. None of that stuff. There's no nitrous, nothing. Just pure gas, and that thing is definitely running like a. I mean, it beat my 281 XP built by Pat Cajun, Bobby Boucher. It beat that, and that thing will beat my 592. That thing will, and the 592 has beaten my 3120 that I used to have, has beaten a Husqvarna 2100 CD. All right, so that 100 cc saw territory, 65 cc to 100 cc, and still on pure gas. Right now, I don't need to build something like that. Maybe someday down the road I will want to, but right now I'm cool with just going 10 cc's up, boop, punching above its weight class. and that's it, you know. So there's a lot more stuff to be done. But what happens then is that saw, that 365 extra special that I'm talking about, is useless except for cutting 3 cookies one after the other. Call it quits. Walk away. That's all it's got. It can't do anything else. So, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I don't want to build something like that, at least not right now. I would rather all of my saws, I could hand them off to you, and you could run it for 30 minutes, you know, and go, damn, that thing was great, you know. Anyways, rambled on enough. I hope you enjoyed the video, and the winner is the 2152. Next up, can it take on the mighty Thunder Kitten? Actually, this one isn't a Thunder Kitten. It's just the saw that I built for Troy. It's a Echo 4910. And we'll see. Later.